what did I put? I don't remember. Oh, okay, I remember. The completed roast of the Dabbleverse.
Okay.
On our Patreon and also in the members-only section of YouTube. So what this is at DabbleCon 2, Jay Daly and I, and with collaboration from everybody, Blind Mike, Shuley, Carl, Anthony, Kaylee, Andy, and producer Chris, and Vinny. Oh, and Jenny Jingles, too. All participated. I wrote a script for the animation that was going to start the roast. And I had Coke Logic take the script and the audio that I sent him, because I had everybody record their parts, and turn it into an animation, right? And it cost me a pretty penny to do this. Coke Logic is very talented. He did the video opening for our show that I didn't get to play today because OBS and Stream Deck are not speaking together. But anyway, they, it's the same guy. So during the show, it froze up halfway through on the live stream. So anybody that watched it on the live stream only saw half of it. And people who were there apparently saw the whole thing because they were laughing at the right parts. And then when my roast set came up, they played something inappropriate that Vinny hit the wrong button, or whoever was running it hit the wrong button. And it played something that Quadfather played on Stuttering John's show for a second, and then you couldn't see me, and there were all these technical difficulties. And then finally, about a minute into my set, they fixed it for the live stream. And that was the only recording I had, was the live stream. So what I did was I took the audio from the live stream, which was fine, and took the original animation and lined it up so that when jokes happen, people are laughing at the right time. And I did the same thing. I took my original video that I sent in without obviously anybody laughing, because I did it here by myself, and overlaid that over the DabbleCon 2 audio.
Okay.
So finally, I did it for myself as much as anybody else, but finally people who want to can see the complete animation, and they can see my complete. I only have the rights to my set, so I can't play the whole DabbleCon thing, nor would I want to necessarily. But so anyway, if you want to see it, if you want to see your old pal actually, doing comedy, go to youtube.com/@weirdmedicine. If you join as a member, it's 99 cents. You do it, for 1 month, and then you cancel it, or do whatever you want to do. Or you can go to patreon.com/weirdmedicine, sign up as a member there. And there's all kinds of other crap in there that you've never seen. So anyway, all right. So we've got all that going. Cameo.com/weirdmedicine. I'll say fluid to you, mama, or anything else you want. Some art gallery asked me to do an opening, but they didn't like what I did, so now I got to redo it today.
Jeez.
Yeah, they wanted a more pastoral setting. So anyway,
you can do it.
Simply Herbals, what's going on there?
No, nothing new.
Nothing?
No, just a little bit of this nasal spray. And
okay, you still send tchotchkes out, though, right?
Still sending tchotchkes out.
Okay.
'Tis the season for the sneezing.
Yeah, that's true. It's coming.
It's coming. God, it's coming.
You have
quick.
stock?
We've got stock now, yep.
You do?
Yep. So
you're going to continue doing it? You're up and down with this. You
don't
have anything now. You do have stuff. Now you've got new stock?
It's hard to keep balance, as well as I do.
Yeah, it's hard to give it up.
And then you buy too much, and then you don't buy enough.
Yeah.
It's a
well. So
it's
where
a
are you right
great
now?
show.
You're in a situation where you bought too much.
No. We just bought a little bit this time. So
Okay.
yeah, we're just
because
going
I
real
need
slow.
some. I'll place an order today.
Real slow.
Dr. Scott doesn't give it to me free. I have to place an order, but that's fine. I'm happy to support your business. No, for real.
No, I know it's true. It's a friend of mine. She told me one time you'll go broke on your family and friends.
Yes. So I order like 5 of them, and then
very
Dr.
good.
Scott delivers them personally.
Hand delivered.
I don't get any tchotchkes, though.
Without chutskis, but a smile and a
right.
firm handshake.
Hearty handshake.
A hearty handshake.
I always tell people if I meet them, I'll buy you a beer, but if you're sober, a hearty handshake is in your.
There you go.
That's right. All right, very good. Okie dokie. Are you ready to now? For the second show, we will field questions from the Fluid family. So if you want to join the Fluid family, watch our Twitter. It's at Weird Medicine, usually Sunday, sometimes Saturday, sometimes Wednesday. So you just got to keep an eye on it. The best thing to do is go to youtube.com/@weirdmedicine and then hit the subscribe, or the subscribe button and the notification button. That way you'll be notified if we go live. And if you click join and then click accept gifted memberships. Sometimes Myrtle gives away 10 or 20 memberships. Sometimes King of the Dabbleverse gives away some memberships. So, and then you can go in there and look at that Roast of the Dabbleverse thing. I worked hard on that to reconstruct that.
Sounds like
it's like reconstructing a Picasso or something.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
It took a lot of. I had to line all these videos up and get the transitions right and everything so that people could see it the way it was intended to be seen.
Yep.
Because they did not. I spent too much effing money for it to freeze in the middle and people not to get to see the whole thing. Oh, that was irritating.
That's so disheartening.
Yeah, it was very disheartening. But anyway, and I wasn't there. That was why I couldn't yell and say, "Hey, start this shit over."
Oh no, yeah. Yep.
First DabbleCon, I did a animation for that for the Dabby Awards, but I was there. I was announcing it. So anyway, there may be a boxing match at DabbleCon at Hackamania this year, and I'm hoping I will get to be. Well, they've said if it happens, I get to be the Michael Buffer. So,
oh my!
Now you can't yell, "Let's get ready to R word," because if you do, he'll sue you.
Oh my gosh! Really?
He's got that trademarked.
Oh my gosh!
So
that shouldn't be trademarkable. I don't think.
It is.
I mean, I know it is, but it shouldn't be.
That's if I what can I say? Let's get ready to
rock and roll.
Do some math.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, let's get ready to rock and roll. I think he's got all of that. If you say let's get ready to, he's got it.
Jeez Louise.
So, but Patrick Melton is smart. He'll think of something that I can say that's legal that would be still humorous. So. All right.
Yep.
So we'll see. That is hackamania.com. Offer code JT for, I think, 10% off, something like that.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah, it's going to be all kinds of weird shit going on. All right. You ready?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Number one thing, don't take advice from some asshole on the radio.
All right. That's good advice. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Steve, how you doing?
All right, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking, man. Hey, listen, I have the King Arthur's Court Connecticut Yankee question.
Okay.
So, is there a difference between med school in the past and med school these days? In other words, if you knew what you knew today, would you be the most amazing doctor? Could any of us be doctors with just minimal medical education?
Yeah.
I appreciate your thoughts, sir.
Well, let me tell you something. Back in the day, surgeons who washed their hands before surgery were shunned.
They're wusses.
Yep. They were like, oh, that's bullshit. And it was mainly because the doctors who were not washing their hands didn't want to be criticized by these young upstarts. But then they found that the ones who were washing their hands before surgery, they weren't using gloves, but they were washing their hands, had better outcomes. And that was the start of sort of scientific, data-based or metric-based, medicine. It all came from surgery. So now, admissions have become harder. There was a time when there were no prerequisites. You just said, I want to be a doctor, and you went to medical school. If we go way back, like to the late 1800s, it was a wild, unregulated frontier, and you wouldn't recognize it. It was a trade school. Doctors only called themselves doctor because they wanted to have more respectability. So the PhDs were all called doctor back then.
Okay.
Like if you had a PhD in physics or English or something, you were Dr. So-and-so. And the physicians had to fight to be called doctor.
Wow.
Because they had such a bad reputation before that, with the bleeding and the humors and all this kind of bullshit. A lot of the medical schools were for-profit businesses owned by local doctors. And they competed for students by keeping their standards low and keeping the length short. So it was like, come on.
Wow. Wow.
Now, by the 1800s, schools like Penn Medicine began requiring a one-page essay to get in.
Okay.
But that was the exception.
How funny.
It usually lasted 2 years, and the second year was often a repeat of the first year.
Oh, wow.
Just because back then they thought repetition, which repetition
does matter.
It does matter.
It does matter.
It's the only way to make sure that the information stuck. And they didn't have any science. Germ theory was just becoming mainstream in the 1800s. So they learned about humors and symptoms more than anything else. So back in the day, medicine was palliative in the sense that they treated symptoms.
Okay.
If you had dropsy, which we now call congestive heart failure, they gave you foxglove, which we now know had digitalis in it, which might have helped some. If you had headaches, they would give you laudanum, which is tincture of morphine.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Or tincture of opium.
Okay.
They would know that helped. But then, these ladies with their migraines were getting addicted to laudanum and stuff.
Come on.
So they didn't have legal cadavers. So the students and what they called resurrectionists. There's another term for resurrectionist. Do you know what it is? Body snatcher. They would dig up fresh graves to supply these anatomy labs.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, there was a not too long, when I was in medical school, apparently the guy that was over our anatomy lab was also a quote-unquote resurrectionist because he owned a funeral home and was using body parts from the funeral home to sell to. This was it was alleged. I don't know that he was ever convicted of it. But like he'd take a knee off an old lady to send to some ortho lab that wanted to practice operating on cadaver knees.
Wow.
You might look that one up. Look up North Carolina a cadaver case or something, cadaver. Now, the first women's medical college opened in the mid to late 1800s, and Johns Hopkins was one of the first major schools to admit women, primarily because they needed a large donation that was contingent on being coeducational. So they got some rich person said, I will give you a bunch of money, but you have to become co-ed.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool. Now, let's see here. Yeah, there was this thing called the Flexner Report.
Flexner Report, okay.
It shut down half of the medical schools in the United States.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was in 1910. It was commissioned by the Carnegie Foundation, and they visited 155 medical schools in the U.S. and Canada to assess their quality, and they wanted to eliminate what's called for-profit schools and replace them with the sort of university-affiliated scientific model. And they standardized the curriculum to a 2+2, so you get 2 years of basic science with 2 years of clinical training. And they required them to have laboratories and be scientifically rigorous and stuff, which was pretty advanced in the early 1900s. So they had half of the U.S. medical schools either closed or merged by 1935 because they couldn't afford the new standards. And but it was devastating for diversity and minority education because 5 out of the 7 existing black medical colleges were closed. Only Howard and Meharry survived. So they also recommended closing all the medical schools dedicated to women. So it sounds like it was a good thing, but it set blacks and women back in medical education by a generation. So now they did advocate for co-education instead of single interest group. So it wasn't all bad. What they did was they encouraged the medical schools that survived this thing to take more minority and women students. But there is there is something to be said. I mean, there are still women colleges and there are still black colleges and stuff. And that this is there's something to be said for that kind of education. But when it came to medical schools, they were discouraged by the Flexner Report. So anyway, homeopathy was wiped out during that because they were teaching that in medical school. So, yeah, things have changed quite a bit.
Yes.
Now, in the 1960s to 80s, matriculation rates hovered around 45%. They're about 36% per MD and DO applicants. In other words, about half of the people that applied got in. Now it's about 1 in 3. Okay. All right. Interesting question.
You think the schools have gotten easier or harder?
No. Well, it's harder to get in.
Well, I mean, as far as the knowledge, the people that you see coming out.
Oh, and I see a lot of dumbasses.
The ones I see coming out, I'm like, holy shit.
I will say, though, that the quality of medical students since the 80s, I was a clinical instructor in the 80s.
Okay, gotcha.
We had, in my residency program, we lost a faculty member in the middle of the year.
Okay.
And I was chief resident, so they said, you're going to take over this faculty member's position. Well, I couldn't supervise residents, but I could supervise the medical students.
Gotcha.
So we had all these medical students coming in, so I was now over all of them.
Gotcha.
And I remember thinking there were several groups of medical students that came through. I'm like, how do you not know this stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. My OBGYN professor, when I was on OBGYN with him, he flunked 2 people, 2 medical students. They did an oral. He forced them to do an oral exam at the end of their rotation because he said they don't know anything, and they didn't know anything.
They didn't know anything, right?
Yeah. He asked him this question. Okay, you have a woman who has a 32-year-old who has bleeding, vaginal bleeding for over a month, and she has to change 3 pads a day. What would you do? And the guy thought for a second. He went, and he very confidently said, "Yeah, I would do a hysterectomy."
Hysterectomy. Oh my God, how funny!
And I'm like sitting there going, yeah, "Oh no," because I had prepped these guys. I knew he was coming after him, and I said, "This is what you got to do. You got to learn this stuff."
Yep. How funny! Oh my God.
So anyway, now the medical students and the osteopathic students that I see are really almost universally outstanding.
Okay, good.
Really, really good.
Yep.
Like, wow, that kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some from Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine, two of the best medical students I've ever had.
Oh, wow.
They functioned on the level of a resident.
Oh, wow.
And just really, really good. So
Good.
I have...
Good.
I feel good about this upcoming group of physicians that's going to be hitting the market here in the next few years because they've really stepped up.
Yeah, good. Yeah, because I think they took a hit during COVID, especially in the training.
Yeah, maybe so.
A little bit, yeah. So I think,
it was huge.
and
I think they
the
should have
residents-
added another year to their education.
especially the residents that didn't get to rotate through a lot of the.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, they know a lot about COVID.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Not that means anything anymore.
Not much, but
We had a few cases, but it's become endemic. For those that want to know, there were 5 coronaviruses that were circulating that would cause common colds, but also would kill a few people every year. About 20,000 people would die from what we called viral or quote-unquote atypical pneumonia. We never tested for it, but we knew it was coronaviruses. Every once in a while, an adenovirus would sneak in or something like that. Well, now they're testing for all this stuff.
Yep.
We have these viral upper respiratory panels, which we never had before because there was no treatment for any of it. So why would you test for it? And, it was just supportive.
Yep.
Well, now we do have treatment for at least one coronavirus. And, we've got the influenza test too, or influenza medication. So they test for all this stuff. And, but now what's happened is that the virus that we called COVID-19 has become another one of these circulating coronaviruses. It'll kill a few people. And for the most part, it'll just cause an upper respiratory infection. It's still probably of the upper respiratory infections, it has the capability of making you feel the worst.
Right.
But that's because we still don't have that population immunity. What happens is these kids get exposed to coronaviruses when they're kids. Anybody that's had kids knows they come home, they're sick all the time, first few years of school, because they're just passing these viruses. Well, they're passing these viruses around, and they're passing these 5 coronaviruses around, now 6. And then when they get older, they get exposed to them again. It just causes an upper respiratory infection. It's not that severe. No. And so now instead of 5 endemic coronaviruses, we have 6.
Yep.
And so my prediction early on, when the R-sub-naught, if you remember the transmission number for SARS-CoV-2 was 2.3, most people weren't going to get it. But now it's like 12. So now it's like measles.
This keeps going around and around and around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and what that means, one person will infect 2.3 with the original virus. Now one person will infect 12 people. So now that's how it becomes endemic. It just everybody at some point has either gotten it or will get it. And, it's evolved to the point where the reason it got less virulent is because, its natural desire, this very teleological, I'm assigning meaning to it. It's not really meaning, but just by natural selection, it wants to be more transmissible. Well, to do that, it needs to get out of the lower respiratory tract and work its way up into the upper respiratory tract. And once it does that, then it becomes more transmissible. It also becomes less deadly.
Yeah.
So,
well,
all right. Okay, this is a question for you.
No.
Gentlemen, question for Dr. Scott. Hey, can you compare and contrast Chinese medicine and Ayurveda? Assuming you have the capability. Thank you, sir.
Assuming you have the capability to do that, Dr. Scott.
I don't know if I have the ability to do much of anything.
Well, I can talk a little bit about it because I've studied this at length. I was into Howard Stern and Robin Quivers turned me on to Ayurvedic medicine just when they were arguing about which one of them was Pitta or which one was, Vata and all this kind of stuff.
I don't know it to that detail.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you can talk about traditional Chinese medicine. Sure. It relies on qi and the 5 elements. You want to talk about the 5 elements?
Nope.
Okay. Well, acupuncture.
And I'll tell you why in a minute.
Herbs. Oh, really? Okay. Well, go ahead.
Well, but there's a difference, just like in, in allopathic medicine, you have your MDs and DOs. Yeah. There's a little bit of difference with the approach.
Okay.
And it's very similar in traditional Chinese medicine.
Okay.
You have the group that does much more of the traditional stuff where they do the 5 elements and they do the balancing of the wood and the metal and the water and these things.
Yeah.
And how those relate to the organs. That's not the world I live in.
Is that right?
No,
okay.
I live in a much more westernized world where, when you come in, and let's say you send me a patient to see, and they've got, a bad back because they've got prostate cancer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're doing things for them, but they need a little bit extra. Yeah. Then I treat that pain specifically.
Right.
I don't go into what's out of harmony in their body because we know what's out of harmony in their body.
Yeah.
They've got
prostate
metastases.
Cancer.
Yeah, they've got metastases to the. So I live in a much more westernized world where, I was trained to do the diagnoses of these woods and these 5 elements and the special little points and things of that nature, which I think are really wonderful. And if I need somebody to with that expertise, I've got a friend that actually does that much more that type of Chinese medicine I send to here locally.
Really?
Yep. And he's really good with it.
Is he a DOM?
He is. He's really great, but he doesn't. But anybody that he needs like the electric acupuncture, the pain medicine stuff.
Sends that to you.
Yeah, the sports injuries he just sends to me, and it works pretty well. Yeah, works pretty well. So that's kind of how it goes.
Would you agree with this statement? Ayurveda assigns individuals one of 7 constitutional types called Prakriti, based on doshas, and TCM focuses on diagnosing patterns of disharmony. Does that sound right?
I do. I think so, yeah. There's a lot of disharmony in what we treat, And you remember 100 years ago we started this show, and I was telling you that somebody comes in with GERD, it's rebellious stomach chi.
Right.
And it's from a overactive liver yang, and what does that mean?
Yeah, right.
And all it is, it's just a pattern of someone that is chronically stressed.
Yeah,
too much. Food,
probably
too much alcohol,
there islet
all
sales,
these things.
right?
Yeah, there's those islet cells, but you got to figure that liver is overacting.
Yeah,
and it's just causing stress.
Yeah,
you get some gastritis and you get reflux. So that's how it translates.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I do think all of that stuff means a lot.
I think Ayurveda preaches more lifestyle stuff. I mean, that's a big part.
Well, that's what
it.
We should be doing.
Yeah, correct. But I think
should be.
It seems like it's more the basis of their comprehensive sort of approach to things.
Well, I think that's the good foundational way to do it.
Yeah,
is go with the start with the foundation.
Yeah,
and then use modern technology for labs and for imaging and things of that nature.
Yeah,
because that's a really good way to treat people.
That's the essence of integrative medicine.
Sure is.
Where you're integrating what works in both things.
Yeah, but there's a lot of similarities between Ayurvedic medicine and Chinese medicine. Much more, which is different than homeopathic medicine. Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine are more similar than homeopathic medicine.
Well, don't give me. Well,
I mean, I'm just saying.
We can talk a little bit about homeopathic medicine. The idea that water takes on these characteristics, and so if you have a fever, you find a medicine that causes fever, and then you put it in water, and then you dilute it. So if you pick up a homeopathic medicine that says 32x, that means that it's been diluted 32 times.
Right.
And so you can demonstrate that if you dilute it enough times, there might only be one molecule left of that stuff, but somehow it puts the imprint.
It makes it stronger.
Yeah, right. Somehow it puts the imprint on the water.
Yep.
So
yep.
Now, if someone who practices homeopathy wants to, call in and, expand on that, we'd be happy to talk to them about it. All right. Here's a good question.
I hope everybody's doing good, including the Fluid family.
Hey,
Kind of had a little
Stacy.
thing popped in my head today. You ever picked up like a piece of paper and you almost instantly realize it is not just one sheet, it's two sheets?
Yeah.
How sensitive is the human touch?
Damn good question. How does he come up with questions like that? That's a really good question.
Hey,
and they're all good.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I'll start.
My human touch is shit
diminished
because I have peripheral neuropathy, but I can still do certain things that still would amaze,
right.
A robot trying to do the same thing. Go ahead.
Well, but the reason why you have peripheral neuropathy in your fingers and toes is because you have an increased number of sensory neurons.
Give thyself a bell.
In those fingers and toes.
Yep.
So where's the greatest?
There's this thing called the homunculus. Have you seen that?
Yeah. No, I was just going to say.
What it is it's a map of the brain.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
That shows where the thing has the most nerves, and they'll draw a picture of a person with, if there's more nerves there, that body part is bigger. And so the tongue is huge.
Sure.
The hands are huge.
Fingertips.
Yeah.
More than hands.
Yeah. Right.
And so I'll give everybody a little test that they can try at home. If you take
foreskins, but the size of a car. Go ahead.
Yes, it is. That's why they remove it, I think. But anyway, you can take two little needles, and I don't want a sharp needle, like a pen or a pencil tip or pen or whatever. And you can take those and you can put those right together.
Yep.
And you can feel two separate little pins on your finger or where else? Your lips.
Yep.
Your tongue.
Yep.
Genitalia.
Yep.
Toes.
Yep.
But
not on your abdomen.
But not if you do that on your buttocks, where you sit all day long, or your back, where there's always constant pressure. You have to start spreading those pins, away, until you can actually feel two independent, stimulations. It's crazy to think that.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, because when you can have those things an inch apart, and you still only feel one stimulation.
Yeah. Fingertips can detect surface bumps as small as 1 micrometer.
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
That's a millionth of a meter. Yeah. That's about the size of a bacterial cell.
Yeah.
And as Dr. Scott said, the lips, tongue, and fingertips are the most sensitive parts of the body. And there's just so many neurons there. Mm-hmm. That's why I can still do stuff. I've lost a lot of neurons, but I can still do stuff because there's a lot of redundancy.
Yep.
Now, there is some research that suggests we can even detect objects without direct contact by perceiving air pressure and movement, like some animals can. Now, if you want to talk about heightened senses, dogs' tongues and noses and all that stuff, and their ears are incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there's 10 per square centimeter of receptors on the back. Mm-hmm. So you would have to separate it by 1 centimeter to get.
Yep. And that's if you get it in the right spot, because it's kind of like the weather. It's a 10% chance of rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just because you hit that 1 centimeter, got it in perfectly because they're not in alignment.
Right.
Because they're kind of random.
Right. Okay. So here's the statistics: fingertips and lips have 100 pressure receptors per centimeter, whereas the back only has 10.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So Dr. Scott's
makes sense.
Right again.
Makes sense.
Yeah. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Here's a thing from University of California: the amazing sensitivity of human touch. Oh, and here's one. For the most part, and this isn't always true, you can tell the difference between a fart and a shart. a load or even a little bit of liquid in your rectum as opposed to gas. And people would say, well, how can you do that? Well, fill your mouth up with water. Is it water or is it gas? Mm-hmm. You can tell the difference if you puff up your so it has to do with temperature. If fluid is a conductor of temperature, whereas air is an insulator, and so we have temperature and sensation. We have friction sensors, all kinds of shit. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is nuts.
Yeah, you can tell the difference between glass, metal, wood, and plastic. Think about that. And they have different textures, or they draw heat away at different rates. And so,
yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
In it. Yep. All right. Let's see.
Hey, put some stuff back on YouTube, man. Where's the Ope stuff? Let's talk about Ope again. You have them on your show. Have them both on your show at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have Opie and Anthony on my show at the same time. Do you know how many times people have tried to do that? And that, of course, that's the wrong outro music. Where is our actual outro music? What the hell? Oh, no, that was the outro music. I'm an idiot. Dr. Skyle, I'm losing it.
You're losing your shit.
I'm going to take... So there is a blood test now looking for beta amyloid products that may give you an early detection of Alzheimer's.
Yes, I saw it.
So we finally may have you. It's not a screening test. We're not going to use it as a screening test, but if somebody has symptoms, we may use that blood test to say, this may be it.
Sure.
I just did a thing on YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@weirdmedicine, or our YouTube channel. I don't want to sound like Howard Stern, who always said, well, my show. Oh, what is Fred and Robin and Gary? Are they chopped liver? But anyway, on our YouTube channel, I did a live stream and a short encapsulation of a study that showed that people with Alzheimer's don't get cancer.
I saw that.
And people with cancer don't get Alzheimer's. And what they found was this sort of inverse relationship between the two. And you can go watch the video, but in short, the beta amyloid that causes problems in the brain, when it gets into the bloodstream, it actually stops T cells from becoming senescent. In other words, stops them from becoming old and lazy, and they'll go and kill cancer cells.
Yeah, if people get a chance, they should watch that video. It's very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good, yeah.
So there is a thing called fumaric acid that seemed to stimulate all this stuff, so I'm going to see if there's a supplement of fumaric acid. Maybe I'll start taking it.
Okay.
But anyway.
A fumaric acid?
Yeah, fumarate.
Yeah, I've got some.
You do?
I can hook you up.
Excellent.
I got some stuff.
All right.
I got some juice.
Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks to everyone who's made the show happen over the years. Continues to be the most fun I've had in my 6 decades of experience. Thanks to our listeners whose voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. Go to our website, drsteve.com, for schedules, podcasts, and other crap. And don't forget Dr. Scott's website, simplyherbals.net, if you want to get some tchotchkes. And if you go to stuff.drsteve.com, we have Troy Smith artwork of the quantifier of scat and the club-footed jackass. And if you know, you know. If you don't know, go check out WATP. All right, my friends, until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps, quit smoking, get off your asses, get some exercise, and we'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Thanks. All right, sir.
It's a lot easier when that damn computer works.
Well, it didn't work, but I kludged it. All right. Oh, okay. Anyone heard of treating? Okay, we've got a bunch of questions in there. You want to just do another show answering questions from the fluid family? You got enough?
There weren't a lot of questions.
I see the one about alpha-gal from Homer.
Yeah.
Here's McRibs talking about vitrectomy.
Yeah, well, that was,
he was given Avastin.
Yeah. So he started losing the
Well, we need to talk about that.
Okay. We could do a quickie.
Okay.
A quickie.
Outlaw Josie Whale says they have a question for a family member. Okay, it says our audio's low. How is that possible? I have the audio cranked all the way up. Let me see. Hang on. Hello, testing 1 2 3 4. How can the audio be low? What in the hell is going on? Let me see. Oh, one thing. Okay, it was all the way to the right, and that's one. Golly, how does this happen? Okay, is that better? Yeah. Did Dr. Steve go to the S.J. School of Broadcast? Thank you. All right. Have you compiled all the questions?
No, but I'm working on it. But there were mostly statements. There was a couple.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah. Well,
hey, Tom Hunt's near Pikeville.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. We're talking about snow.
Well, I'm talking about KCOM.
Oh.
KICOM. Let's see. Okay, Dr. Scott, will your CBD nasal spray show up on a drug test?
They should not.
Yeah, it will. Don't say that.
Yeah.
It will show up if they test for CBD. Okay. Akasha Nico wants to do a voice for a hillbilly puppet. I think I got that one covered, honey, but thank you. Trash Talk Troll wants to know about ayahuasca. We should talk about McRibs and
his eye.
Yeah. And here, Akasha Nico says, I almost died from baseball-sized stomach ulcers, so we can talk about all that stuff. All right, so you got all that?
I don't know that there's a way to put those in one place.
You know, well, you're just going to have to scroll through while we're talking and just start at the top and work your way down and say, oh, this person said this and that person said that.
Dan for?
Okay. Hey, there's one pun. Oh, well, let me tell you. Yeah, I do have some stuff for one pun. Hold on. Where's one pun, Ben? I prepared some for ye. Cletus is up on the wall. I don't know if you can see him. There he is. He's up there. Let me see. Hey, one pun. Wait a minute. Yeah, I got to get in furry. Hey, one pun, I'd like to get a job hanging mirrors, don't you know? That's a job I could see myself doing. Oh, there you go, Dr. Scott. You like that?
Oh, my.
Well. I got a terrible fear of tsunamis, Dr. Scott. It comes in waves.
Oh, my.
Coleslaw. My American Express was declined at the... I use American Express, don't you know, Dr. Scott, because I love America. My American Express was declined at the sweater store, so the clerk asked for my cardigan. Oh, well, there you go.
Oh.
Enough of that.
All
right. You got enough to do a show? Quickie?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really understand what he's asking about the CBD and the ayahuasca. I guess we can just.
Talk about CBD and ayahuasca. I mean, just turn it into a topic. That's all.
Okay. Ayahuasca, cha cha cha.
Now, before we start, is the audio better? Okay, they're saying, yeah. Okay, audio's fine. All right. Here we go. Oh, I can make the video intro work from here. I just can't make it work from there. Okay. All right. We'll try it.
Give it a go.
All right, here we go.
Dr. Steve, I hope you're better. Dr. Steve, I hope you're better at prostate screenings than you are at radio screenings, you son of a bitch.
If you just read the bio for Dr. Steve, host of Weird Medicine on Sirius XM 103 and made popular by two really comedy shows, Opie and Anthony and Ron and Fez, you would have thought that this guy was a bit of, a clown.
Why can't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to?
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola virus dripping from my nose. I've got the leprosy of the heart valve, exacerbating my incredible woes. I want to take my brain out and blast it with the wave, an ultrasonic echographic and a pulsating shave. I want a magic pill for all my ailments, the health equivalent to Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in the tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want a requiem for my disease, so I'm paging Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve! Take a cow for do the vertebrae. I need some suction.
It's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio. Now a podcast. I'm Dr. Steve with my little pal, Dr. Scott, traditional Chinese medicine provider, and gives me street cred with whack alternative medicine assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
This is a show for people who never listen to a medical show on the radio or on the internet. If you have a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical provider, if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call, 347-766-4323. That's 347
poo head.
Follow us on Twitter at Weird Medicine, at drscottwm. Visit our website at drsteve.com for podcasts, medical news, and stuff you can buy. Most importantly, we're not your medical providers. Take everything here with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on this show without talking over with your healthcare provider. Check out Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. Simplyherbals.net. He's got stuff again.
Some stuff.
Got the CBD nasal rinse, best thing in the market, as far as I'm concerned.
Me too.
Buffered saline, peppermint oil, and CBD. How can you go wrong with that? People don't realize peppermint oil is a natural anti-inflammatory. We use it for people with stomach and for gastritis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really is very effective.
Yep.
That's why they gave it to people after, you'd have those peppermints sitting out after, at a highfalutin restaurant.
The many Indian restaurants will have little peppermint, or they'll have fennel seed.
Yeah, they'll have that little fennel thing of fennel seed.
Yep.
You get a little spoon and stuff.
Warms your tummy.
Yep. Check out patreon.com/weirdmedicine. I have the complete version of my contribution to the Roast of the Dabbleverse, finally, after 2 years. The complete, if you watched the live stream, you didn't see it. The complete animation and then my complete roast set, which I am very proud of.
Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's 2024. Isn't that something? But anyway, I am very proud of this. This is something I would like for people to be able to see in its entirety. So go to either youtube.com/@weirdmedicine. There you can join for 99 cents and see it. Or you can go to patreon.com/weirdmedicine. And for $3 you can join it and you can see everything. And we've got content on there that is never going to be seen anywhere ever again, particularly old shows before episode 300 when we were a little bit, more Wild Wild West kind of stuff. So anyway, all right. So check that out, patreon.com/weirdmedicine. And if you want me to say fluid to your mama, cameo.com/weirdmedicine. I'll say other things too. I don't have to just say fluid and secretions. All right, my friend. So we have a lot of questions from people in the well, a lot is an exaggeration, but there are questions and comments from people in the Fluid family in the waiting room. If you want to join the Fluid family, you go to youtube.com/@weirdmedicine, click subscribe, and then the notification button. You'll be notified when we go live. And then you can just join the chat room. I mean, we call it, it's just the chat room. And you can ask Dr. Scott questions, and then he will curate those. And
to the best of my ability.
Yeah. So just start at the top and work your way down, and just, it can just be comments and stuff, and those can stimulate conversation too. They don't all have to be questions. All right, so what you got?
How about one from the Trash Talking Troll?
Okay, yeah.
Just questioning about CBD and ayahuasca.
Okay, two completely different things.
Two completely different things. The CBD oil is something that is legal in most states.
Yeah.
If not all.
Yeah,
I can't speak to all of them, but.
So there's a difference between hemp-derived molecules and marijuana-derived molecules. They're basically the same plant, but hemp has a lot of CBD and a little bit of THC, and marijuana has a lot of THC and a little bit of CBD. Now, in Tennessee, for example, marijuana is illegal, but CBD is legal, and they realize that when you're extracting CBD from a hemp plant, there's always going to be 0.3% of THC in that. So they set that limit. As long as it's no greater than 0.3%, it's legal in Tennessee. And this is true in a lot of states.
Yep.
So what these geniuses did, because some of them are geniuses.
Yeah,
and actually, this doesn't require a whole lot of genius. But you get a liquid chromatography setup, and that is something that will separate molecules by molecular weight.
Okay.
And CBD and THC are two different molecules, so you can separate them. So you get a fraction of THC that comes out, you know, of your little burette.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a fraction of CBD. So you can make CBD gummies, but now you got this THC left over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you put 10 milligrams of CBD, 10 milligrams of THC in a 3-gram gummy, 3 gram is 3,000 milligrams. What does that come out to?
0.3.
Oh, yeah. Oops. Wow.
Yikes. Didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. So now you're selling THC gummies that are legal. And 10 milligrams of THC is plenty for most people.
Yeah. That's kind of what they set the adult kind of dosing.
Yeah, the heroic dose is like 25 milligrams, so we don't recommend that.
In the smarter states like Colorado and California that haven't legalized, or even Illinois and some other states, it's 10 milligrams is considered the adult dose.
Correct.
Yep.
So you can do that as long as the gummy is 3 grams, and that's just a little square like this, you know, maybe a centimeter on each side, centimeter and a half. Now, so in medicine, we had a drug called Marinol.
Mm-hmm.
They called it dronabinol, but it's delta-9 THC, but it was synthesized in the laboratory. That's the difference.
Okay.
As opposed to being extracted from a plant, it was synthesized in the laboratory. Now, the company that was manufacturing this drug got into trouble with the FDA, and they shut down manufacturing for some period of time. We couldn't get any.
Right.
Well, we use this for chemotherapy-induced nausea.
Mm-hmm.
We use it for weight loss and HIV, all kinds of important things.
Yeah, to help stimulate the appetite.
And we couldn't get it.
Right.
So I started making a deal with the hemp dispensaries that, you know, I wanted my patients to have pure THC.
Mm-hmm.
And so I give them a sheet of paper and they go over there. It's not a prescription. Just tells them what we want.
Right.
THC, 10 milligram gummy, put it in the freezer, cut it in quarters. You take 2.5 twice a day. That's the same as the dronabinol 2.5 milligram.
Right.
So that was a workaround.
Yeah, that's good.
And then they're trying to make that illegal. But when I went to the state about that one, they did say that the regular THC 0.3% will still be legal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was, you know, it's like, can we acknowledge this stuff is medicine and stop effing with it?
I know. Makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. You know.
No.
We can't. But you know, you can't. You know as well as I do. You can't tell somebody something that they don't want to hear.
That is true.
And if they don't want to hear the
every once in a while, though, you got
until they're the ones that get sick.
Yeah.
Or they're the ones with cancer. Then it's now it's going to change.
Well, if you're willing to listen, you can have your opinion changed. But some people their goal is, I don't want my opinion changed.
Right. They don't care
so they won't listen. It doesn't matter. They just want to get a W for their team or an L for the other team, and that's it.
Yep.
Now, Dave Rubin is a great example of that. Whether you like him or not, he was, you know, a left-leaning dude, but he would have people on his show that he disagreed with.
Mm-hmm.
And he got red-pilled because he was willing to listen.
Yeah.
And,
God, just think even if you don't like somebody's opinion, doesn't mean it's wrong.
Well, and it doesn't matter. You might be able to learn something.
You might learn. That's
the
what I'm saying.
only time I learn something is when I'm wrong.
Yep.
People go, "Well, you're always right."
And when you're around people smarter than you,
that's just because I'm a genius.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm usually right.
Yes, usually.
but when I'm wrong, I actually like that. I like being demonstrated to be wrong about something because I fucking learned something.
And you learn something. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Yeah.
God.
Arrogance is a terrible thing.
Yep.
Stupidity is worse.
Well,
especially if you don't know.
And right. And Dunning-Kruger is just the most irritating thing, and it's irritating both ways. You know, Dunning-Kruger is just cognitive dissonance between someone's ability and their perception of their ability. So when you have dumb people who think they're smart, and we've got a whole universe around people like that. The lolcows, almost all of them have, Dunning-Kruger. They think they're smarter than they are. And so they'll argue with people and just shit the bed.
Yep.
Okay. We had an example of that on the international stage recently, a case of Dunning-Kruger. But it works the other way, too, where smart people who go, like, that the typical tech support guy.
Yep.
That Jimmy Fallon used to do, and he'd say, just click Control X and then, rearrange your database, and then he'd just go move, and then he'd make them, it's sort of that archetype of the tech support person. They have Dunning-Kruger as well. They're at this level, and they don't understand that everyone else isn't at that level.
Right.
So they underestimate their own ability because to them it seems simple, and they don't understand why it's not simple to everybody else.
Right. Yeah.
That is also Dunning-Kruger. So anyway, all right.
All right. So and
then the ayahuasca.
Yeah,
you talk about that.
Well,
You're the hippie.
Well, just the ayahuasca is a mind altering drug that they have. A lot of the places I've seen it, mainly Costa Rica.
Yep.
Where they use it in ceremonies, and they summon the mother.
Okay,
which
that
comes
sounds
in
cool. I'd like to meet the mother.
And I've actually got a really good friend who went and did the ayahuasca. And
it's a vine.
Yeah, and they cook it down and make a tea out of it.
Banisteriopsis copii.
Yep.
And it's DMT.
And it makes you really sick, too.
Holy shit. Yeah. It's DMT. We got to talk about DMT. I'm going to do a live stream about it today.
Well, it will what they do is they sit around in groups.
Yep.
As a general rule, no. And if you the quarterbacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, actually goes down and he takes teammates down.
Yep.
Who suffer with depression, who suffer with anxiety, stuff like that, and he takes them down and he goes and does these ayahuasca ceremonies with them. And it's if you've ever seen the documentary they did on him on Netflix, and they show these ceremonies where they sit around, they drink the ayahuasca, and they have a really kind of out of body experience. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah,
and certainly it's
I didn't realize
it's a whole
different
thing. Yeah, whole different thing, but it looks pretty fascinating. It really does.
Now the ayahuasca, when you take it, it is different from DMT in the sense that it's released slower, so it's more long and introspective. Whereas if you take pure pharmaceutical DMT, it's intense and brief.
Okay.
They used to call it the businessman's trip. So.
Oh, okay. Ayahuasca takes a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a little bit sick, and a lot of them vomit, but it helps.
Do they vomit?
They vomit, but
no.
You have coaches there that kind of help you with the vomiting, but they kind of help you talk you through. There's a lot of, I guess,
that's true
therapy.
With peyote too. People vomit, and then they start hallucinating.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So I'm just reading this. It says within seconds, this is DMT, of inhalation, users report a high-pitched whirring or ringing sound. And then there's a brief transitional space filled with rapidly shifting complex geometric patterns. That's called the waiting room. And then the breakthrough is the pinnacle of the trip where users enter hyperspace that feels realer than real. 94% of users report encountering autonomous entities, often described as machine elves, guides, or light beings that seem to communicate through telepathy or visual language. And that's the vast majority of people see that. Doesn't mean it's real. It means that our brain has a specific response to this stuff. Usually wears off in 30 minutes. People experience ego death, a loss of personal identity, and the feeling of becoming one with the universe. The reason I got excited about this is there was a new study that showed a single dose of DMT was effective for refractory depression. Now, I'm not telling people to go out and do DMT. What I'm telling them is we have new things finally coming, other than just serotonin reuptake inhibitors.
Yes, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see here. Here's a table: DMT versus ayahuasca. DMT 10 to 30 seconds onset. Ayahuasca that's brewed 30 to 60 minutes. So it's gentler.
Mm-hmm.
Total duration of the pure DMT is 15 to 30 minutes, but ayahuasca is 4 to 8 hours. Now, there's minimal purging with DMT, but there's intense vomiting and diarrhea with ayahuasca. So, good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
The vibe of DMT is fast, visual, and almost science fiction-y, whereas ayahuasca is slow, emotional, and earthy. Now, I have never done either one of these, so I can't speak to this. I'm learning about it. So if anybody's done any of these, I'd be happy to talk to them about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the people I know that have done, they said it was something else.
Yeah.
Really is
Can
incredible.
we do without the shitting and the vomiting?
Yeah, that's me.
Anyway.
I would be a lot more interested if I didn't have to projectile vomit.
Yeah.
All right, you want to go to another
Okay, Deng
one?
Lizard
Sorry.
with a €10 super chat. Thank you, Deng. It says, ironically, you often see Dunning-Kruger effect when people discuss it. It's not about intelligence, but about unfamiliarity. When you don't know what you don't know, you overestimate what you do. There, he has a point about that. I mean, it's a good point. It's not about intelligence. It's about cognitive dissonance. It's about what you know versus what you don't know, or what you how you underestimate your own abilities because you think other people should be able to do what you can do. Mm-hmm. And it's an inability to kind of be able to process that. Deng Lizard, member for 24 months. Thank you, sir. Dang, I'm hoping we'll be able to come to Hackamania this year. I've corresponded with Deng Lizard for a couple of years
London?
now. No,
Overseas?
he's in Germany, I believe.
Germany, okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
All right. Akasha Nico says she's not a big fan of projectile vomiting either. There you go.
There you go.
And then Not Cupcakes is saying, didn't Ari, I'm assuming which Ari are you talking about? Do DMT live on a podcast once. I would almost do that if I was retired. I just can't do it and have the job that I have.
We don't have to worry about that.
Oh, and then Chris Mack says he did salvia. So salvia is more of what's the word I'm looking for? Alkaloid. So that has different effects altogether. But anyway, all right. What else you got, Dr. Scott?
We've got a little McRibs update on the
vitrectomy.
The vitrectomy. I tried
Okay,
to
so
the vitrectomy.
We talked about vitrectomy before. That's where they take out the clear jelly and fluid in your eye because it's either got a blood clot in it or you've got floaters to an extent where you can't, it affects your vision. And I have that, but I'm not an astronomer. Well, I am an amateur astronomer. I can look at anything except the moon. If I look at the moon, all I see is floaters. Mm-hmm. But if I were a pathologist looking through a microscope, which now it's all video, but I would have opted for the vitrectomy. They counseled against it when I had my retinal detachment, or my vitreous detachment, and I had an inflammation back there called posterior uveitis, which my number one video on YouTube is me getting an injection in my eyeball, and they wouldn't let me monetize it because it was a medical procedure.
Oh, wow.
But they counseled against it because if they do the vitrectomy incorrectly and introduce even one bacterium in there, you'll lose your eye. So I decided not to do it. But anyway, go ahead. What do you got?
Well, he was just saying, I guess did real well for about 2 months. Then one day had a floater that wouldn't go away, and then started to go completely gray in the same eye. And it was a different kind of gray than the vitreous hemorrhage. Was given Avastin.
Avastin.
A shot. Okay. And told to come back in a month. But what's just happening is straight up cruel. They keep throwing my diabetes past at me, saying that's the problem.
Always blame the patient.
Yep.
Always blame the patient.
Even though for years he's been completely under control.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. Just blame the patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Avastin is bevacizumab. Any of those drugs that have MAB at the end, if you see an ad for a drug and it has the letters MAB at the end, it's a monoclonal antibody.
Okay.
And they use it for cancer, but what it does is it inhibits angiogenesis, which is the growth of new blood vessels, which is part of the problem in people who have diabetic retinopathy.
Okay.
And so it starves in cancer it'll starve the tumors, but in the eye it'll stop that sort of neoangiogenesis where it's making new blood vessels and messing up your vision. So, did they say anything else?
It doesn't look like it. He said he told him to come back in a month, and that was it. Yeah, that doesn't sound.
Well, I'm sorry that's going on.
Doesn't sound great.
I always worry about those vitrectomies, and the thing is, it can set up inflammation too. Hey, McRibs, I'm assuming you're seeing a retinal specialist, but one of the things they may need to look at is, are you having uveitis now, which is inflammation of the different parts of the eye? Because if you are, a steroid injection in your eye will fix that. So ask them about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, doke. Let's see here. How about a Kashiniko? I almost died from a baseball-sized stomach ulcer with a blood vessel squirting.
Ooh, yeah. You can die from that.
Yes, I was 23. The doctor said the only comparable case was an 87-year-old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, bleeders, stomach.
Yeah.
Not good.
Well, so Akasha Nico, if she can answer this in the chat, did you have H. pylori? Because H. pylori is a bacterium that they used to laugh about, say, "Oh, there's no way you could have bacteria in your stomach." No, it's a bacteria that can eat away at the stomach lining and cause ulcers. And, the stomach lining is covered in mucus, and there are chemicals in there that prevent the stomach from eating itself. But every once in a while, you'll get a wound in there, and then the stomach starts to eat itself. And when you lose that protective barrier, all the gastric acid and the enzymes and all that stuff can start to break down the tissue. And when you break it down enough, there's blood vessels in there. And when you open up one of those blood vessels, you've got a problem.
That acid hits that blood vessel and it's squirt, squirt, squirt.
Yep. So if you get one of those, so normally if you have slow bleeding in the stomach, you'll get black tarry stools. We call it melena.
Right.
And if you listen, y'all, if you want to name your kid Melina, which is a great name, do not spell it Melena, because you're naming your kid black tarry stool. Okay, Malina or Maleena, but not Melena.
Okay,
Malena would work. That's Malina, but anyway.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm just throwing that out there. I have a reason for that. I've seen it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But if they tested you for the Helicobacter, one of the things they would have done is put you on these high-powered oral antibiotics and to kill it. And but then you've got to heal that area as well. Sometimes they got to cut it out. They'll do a thing called an antrectomy where they actually remove part of the stomach. And that kind of sucks. They can do endoscopy and go in there and try to cauterize it, but it's still got to heal up over time. So I would love to know, Akasha Nico, how that worked out. Anyway, there is obviously medications now. The proton pump inhibitors help to protect the stomach from its own acid by raising the pH of the stomach. But once you start having that bleeder, it's got to be fixed right then.
Right. They banned those. They banned them. They banned the bleeder in the stomach like they do the esophagus.
Yeah, well,
like an esophageal varices.
They'll
clip it or they'll
clip it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Or they'll cauterize it or do stuff like that. But the thing I was getting at is if you have a slow bleed in the stomach, you'll get melena, right? The black tarry stool. Right. But if you get a fast bleed, you'll get bright red blood pouring out of the ass, and you know that patient's hemorrhaging. You have to do something about it right then. It's a surgical emergency.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ray DeVito, the gummy smoker, said, "Isn't Bill Burr learning to fly a helicobacter?" That's a pretty good one. He flies a helicobacter. I think that's what it's called. All right. Okay. She said they used a scope down my throat and cauterized it. All right. Very good. All right. What else you got?
How about
I see the one pun saying something. Go ahead.
I was going to say, God, let's see. We had one about acupuncture and alpha-gal.
Okay. Yeah.
Treating. So
we should talk about what alpha-gal is first.
Well, you want to talk alpha-gal and then I'll talk treatment?
Yeah. So every once in a while, people get bit by a tick, and then their immune system will attack this this molecule that is in the tick saliva, okay, because it's foreign. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, those antibodies go, oh, I see the same thing on red meat.
Right.
And so now people, when they eat red meat, they'll get hives and itching and stomach cramps and sometimes anaphylaxis. They'll get the swelling of the tissues in the airway so they can't breathe. And it might be 2 to 10 hours, and it's beef, pork, lamb, and every once in a while dairy. And then they get a specific blood test for IgE for this galactose alpha 1,3 galactose molecule. And if you have that, then you have alpha-gal. And that's named alpha-gal because of alpha 1,3 galactose. It's a sugar. And so when you get that, what is that?
It's just a timer.
Okay. When you get that, you can't eat those meats anymore. Now, if you stop eating those and stop producing the antibody, you can get over it. But it usually takes about 2 to 3 years. You can't eat any of that shit for 2 to 3 years. So red meat and dairy, strict avoidance. And if you'll do it, then you can, after about 3 years, you can start eating that stuff again.
Yep.
But as far as acupuncture, I don't know where there's a role for that other than if you're having an attack, it can make you feel better.
Well,
right?
But there's some pretty good studies on using acupuncture, auricular acupuncture, to treat this alpha-gal.
Really?
By stimulating the body's ability to dampen down the immune response.
Oh, okay, I can see that.
Yep. And I'll tell you the really interesting thing. I use the same points for people with any kind of autonomic.
Oh yeah, Solomon auricular allergy treatment. Good job, Doctor.
But it's
Give thyself a bell.
But the point here's the interesting, and you'll know this. One of the points that they talk about, and I actually use 2 points. One is the auricular branch of the splenic nerve. And the splenic nerve, which helps to regulate the immune response.
Yeah.
Yep. And the other one I actually use is the auricular branch of the vagus nerve.
Yes.
So it helps to turn up parasympathetic tone.
Yeah.
And kind
helps
of calm
with pain too.
It does, yeah. But it helps with the inflammation. So
wow.
That's what I would and I actually put needles in and use electrical stimulation instead of leaving the needles in the ear for 3 days or 3 weeks.
Yeah. I gotcha.
It's just easier, safer.
Okay, well here let's look at the data here. Successful treatment for alpha-gal mammal product allergy using auricular acupuncture, a case series. Now this is a case series, not a double-blind placebo-controlled study, and this is also in a journal called Medical Acupuncture, which you would assume would have a certain bias toward positive results. But
yes, you would.
It says it showed effectiveness in the large majority of patients. Okay, you can't say shit like that. What was the percentage? So let's see here. Okay. Wow. For those individuals with available outcome data, 96% of patients indicated their symptoms were in remission after this treatment. What?
It seems awful high.
Holy shit. Okay, we got it. This has to be reproduced. If this is true, this is a huge breakthrough. That's 2021. Let's see here. All right, let's see if that's ever been reproduced, because that's massive. Get the hell out of it. You see? And that's why I like doing the show, because I'm like, well, there's no role for this. Subjects had attempted a variety of treatments to alleviate symptoms associated with alpha-gal. 94 out of 137 patients had received a formal alpha-gal diagnosis from an allergist. Okay, so first off, that was only 70%, so the other people didn't even have a diagnosis. Anaphylaxis was formally diagnosed in 34 patients. The majority of patients attempted simple avoidance of alpha-gal. Okay, 28 subjects used antihistamines and had taken oral corticosteroids. Okay, all the patients received treatment for alpha-gal using the SAAT method. For those individuals with available outcome data, 121 indicated their symptoms were in remission. A period of 9 months had transpired for all patients, with some being in remission for years. Get the hell out of here.
Listen.
That's awesome.
It's pretty.
Okay,
yeah.
If that can be repeated in a decent study other than just a case study, I'm in.
No, I know.
I think that's incredible.
Well, and I was just giving you why I think it works. You know, I can't promise you.
No. Yeah.
But I was giving
that's
you
huge,
what
dude.
I think it works. Yep. Yeah. But that's
now we got to look at Retraction Watch too to see if this article has been retracted too, because it won't say here. But that's leave me a note. Let's dig deeper into this, see if this study has been reproduced. Because why wouldn't every allergist do this instead of doing what they're doing? No, bullshit. If they had a cure for it, they would do it, because they could charge for it. They could charge $2,000 for this. They could say, look, you can avoid this stuff forever, because they're not doing anything for it anyway. The allergists aren't.
No.
But I can charge $2,000 for this, and I can make it go away.
Yep.
Has to have been attempted to reproduce this. So we're going to have to find out more. Who brought that up? I want to send them something, because this is a good one. Who was that?
I'm looking again.
Who was that?
Who?
Anyway.
All right.
Ari Shafir smoked a salvia live on a podcast. Okay, that's what it was. And Don Jr. said salvia is nutso. Yes, those alkaloids are nutsos. Okay, Don Jr.'s eating mushrooms right now, so he's going to be tripping balls while we're talking.
All right, so it's Homer 5364.
Okay, Homer 5364, send me an email, because you just taught me something. All right.
All right, let's do it.
You ready to get out of here?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, is that the only thing?
Well, we could go all day. You know we could.
Well, okay.
But it's getting late.
All right. Well, let's see here. Okay, Ray DeVito has a disgusting question. Let's go. You got about the one pun says Karmic is dealing with alpha-gal. Oh, with an alpha-gal. Okay, I get it. He's dealing with an alpha-gal. He's talking about his girlfriend.
Oh.
Okay. Let me see. Will this episode be available afterward? Yes. I forgot the steroid you mentioned in addition to the Avastin. Yeah, of course. We put these out on our Patreon in unexpurgated form, and then we put an edited version out as a podcast every 10 days. So, yeah. Yeah, the one pun says, I can't imagine not being able to have steak again. Well, it's not forever. They can, do the 2 years penance, and then, but if you still have the antibodies running around, then you got to start all over again. If you eat meat and all of a sudden you get symptoms, it's another 2 years. So I would go 3 years.
Yep, for safety.
Or try this damn acupuncture shit.
Yep. As they say, it can hurt you.
Yeah. Right. That's right. That's right.
It either will help or it won't help. That we know for sure. That I can promise you.
Oh, Ray DeVito says, I constantly harass my ingrown toenails. Can I get some kind of cancer thing from constantly digging? No, not really, but okay. Ray DeVito, call 347-766-4323 right now. Next time we do a show, we will talk about home treatment for ingrown toenails and in-office treatment, because the in-office treatment is definitive. People used to come in to see me. They'd be miserable. I can't walk. I'm in pain. They would walk out completely pain-free. But it costs something. It cost a doctor's visit. I don't know what people are charging for it now. But you can do some of the stuff at home, and it's called the cotton pledget technique. And that is absolutely something that can be done at home. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Dr. Scott. Thanks to everybody who's made the show happen over the years, and thanks to our listeners, particularly in the Fluid family, whose voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. Go to our website, drsteve.com, for schedules, podcasts, and other crap. Until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps, quit smoking, get off your asses, get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.